Mangwana ni mwalelepo vukenjani, klekwas vanave Africa dumelang, and welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show, bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. These are some of the top stories. International Women's Day 2026 calls for rights, justice and action for women and girls. Ugandan students recall ground trembling after escaping Iran airstrikes. Women veterans of Ethiopia's Tigray war fear another conflict. South Africa launches mass cattle vaccination against foot and mouth disease. Weight loss treatments rise as beauty attitudes shift in Kenya. Senegal government takes minority stake in Dangote Cement subsidiary. And Zimbabwe opposition questions funding for $25 million Munhumutapa football tournament. Today, 56 member nations celebrate Commonwealth Day. Unlocking opportunities together for a prosperous Commonwealth is the theme. So would like to wish you all a happy Commonwealth Day, keeping in mind that Commonwealth's 50th member was Namibia on its Independence Day, which is also this month. But do enjoy Commonwealth Day as we celebrate our common humanity. My name is Ashwin Berry. Top stories shortly.
This month on DSTV, a devastating family tragedy sees the Clyburns relocate to the country.
My center, my soul, is gone.
It's lights out and away we go as Formula One enters a new era of engineering.
Max Verstappen stays ahead.
And 13-year-old Gigi heads off to boarding school where she must learn to live with humans.
I'm a goat.
It's entertainment for everyone, everywhere you like, with DSTV.
Yesterday, on International Women's Day, the theme was Rights, Justice, Action for all women and girls, highlighting the urgency of advancing gender equality, confronting discrimination, and ensuring justice for women and girls worldwide. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said gender inequality remains the greatest human rights challenge of our time. He stressed that women's rights are human rights and that investing in women and girls is essential for progress in sustainable development, peace, and a better world. Guterres noted that no country has achieved full legal equality for women and girls. When women are not equal under the law, he said, true equality cannot exist. Namibian President Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah also marked the day, urging women and girls not to limit their dreams because of gender. Here are the words from Antonio Guterres on International Women's Day.
Women's rights are human rights, and investing in women and girls is one of the surest ways to make the world a better place.
When women are involved in negotiating peace, agreements last longer.
Women in tech make digital tools more inclusive.
Women in government are more likely to pass climate-friendly policies.
When women have access to decent jobs and inclusive workplaces, our economies grow.
And educating girls can unlock the brain power we need to tackle every issue on earth.
Girls can do anything, and they deserve a chance.
We need rights, equality and empowerment for all women and girls.
And we need women everywhere to be free from violence and fear.
In sport,
in politics,
in peace and peacemaking,
in healthcare,
in science,
and in the stories we tell on screen.
Just look at the young women leading climate movement across the globe.
Women and girls are claiming their power.
When we invest in women, in girls, life gets better for men and boys too.
Life gets better for people with disabilities.
For care workers.
For the planet.
For children.
For parents.
For justice.
Для меня.
Para mí.
为自己.
Pour moi.
ولي أنا أيضا.
Women and girls are changing the world. It's time to change the world for women and girls.
Now, some 43 students evacuated from Iran have described their ordeal after returning home. Oscar Nyingema said they could hear the ground trembling and the earth shaking as strikes hit. Speaking after arriving at Entebbe International Airport in Uganda, he said they did not know whether they would make it out. Master student Aloysius Segwa told BBC Focus on Africa the bombings felt like an earthquake and all he could think about was running for his life. The attacks followed joint strikes by the United States and Israel on Iran, after which Iran retaliated against Israel and U.S. allies in the Gulf. Uganda's ambassador in Tehran organized buses to take the students to the Turkish border before they continued to Istanbul and then flew home. Segwa said he traveled for 4 days through heavy traffic as people fled carrying belongings. He described panic and fear as buildings shook during bombings. They said the experience was psychologically traumatic and that they felt they were in danger. Despite this, they plan to return to finish their studies. Now we move over to the Tigray region in Ethiopia, where 22-year-old Abeba Amdu says war consumed the best years of her life after she joined Tigrayan forces during the conflict in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region. Before the war, she was a rising football striker for the 70 and Detra female football team and an IT student in Mekele. She had played since the age of 7 and saw herself challenging traditional attitudes about women in sport. Her studies were first disrupted by the coronavirus pandemic and then war erupted in 2020. Although she did not believe in war, stories of her parents suffering during earlier conflicts shaped her upbringing. She joined the Tigray Defense Forces partly out of fear after learning about women who had been sexually abused by enemy forces. Life on the front brought hunger and shortages, including sanitary pads. The conflict ended 2 years after a peace deal brokered by the African Union and envoy Olusegun Obasanjo. Abeba says both her body and mind remain traumatized as she struggles to rebuild life and fears another conflict could erupt again in Tigray, where tensions remain high even today. Now, South Africa has begun a mass vaccination. This is in a campaign to control an outbreak of foot and mouth disease threatening livestock supplies and exports. The outbreak intensified late last year and has spread across the country's livestock industry. More than 297,000 cattle have been affected and over 120,000 animals have been culled as farmers try to limit transmission. The disease risks shortages of meat and dairy products, as well as job losses and millions of dollars in lost revenue. Countries including China and Zambia have already banned South African meat exports. Agriculture Minister John Steenhuisen launched the vaccine rollout after 1 million doses arrived from Turkey in recent days. Additional shipments are expected soon, though officials warn supplies remain far below the doses needed for nearly 12 million cattle. Authorities aim to vaccinate 80% of the national herd by December and reduce outbreaks by 70%. KwaZulu-Natal has been identified as the outbreak hotspot with more than 17,000 farms affected. The government declared a national disaster, allowing emergency funds mainly for vaccine purchases in order to combat the outbreak. Now we take a sharp left and we end in Kenya, where being overweight was once viewed as a sign of wealth and success. Attitudes toward body image seem to be changing. Surgical procedures and weight loss drugs are becoming more common, with some influencers sharing their slimming journeys online. At Nairobi Bariatric Center founder Dr. Lumdila Sushkina now runs a fully booked clinic. The facility, which she started with her late husband from Ukraine 3 decades ago, once struggled to attract patients. Today it sees between 10 and 15 patients each day. Shushkina says people increasingly recognize that obesity is about health rather than wealth. Some patients seek treatment because of conditions such as high blood pressure, infertility, diabetes, joint pain, and back pain. Others are influenced by social pressure online, where critics sometimes tell people to unfat, quote-unquote, after photos appear on social media. Influencer Naomi Kuria, aged 27, documented her own weight loss journey after beginning gym workouts in 2024. She later tried Ozempic after seeking medical advice, losing 11 kilograms in about a month and a half before undergoing an air sculpt procedure to reshape her body despite criticism online. Very interesting developments there. But those have been our top stories on Africa Good Morning. After the break, we're going to swing into the Zambia report, talking about the Middle East conflict and how it affects Zambia, as well as the unleashing of the Brand Zambia campaign. Stay with us.
This is Generation C, where high school stories come alive. It's youth-led, youth-driven, and all about real voices from real schools. From standout learners and aspiring teachers, to school culture, talent, vibes, and everything that makes each school unique. No scripts, no filters, just authentic moments and big energy. Catch Generation C every Friday at 12 p.m. on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25. Missed it? No stress. Watch anytime on 1up2 under My Zone TV. Generation C, made by the youth for the youth. This is where your school gets the spotlight.
It's time for us to cross over to Zambia, Lusaka, as we talk to Mr. Mike Sichula, who is going to be delivering the Zambia report. Wiriwanji.
Terebuino Muribwanji, Africa, good morning to our dear viewers.
Terebuino. And we understand from the Zambian government as well that Zambians are bueno with regards to casualties, because none have been registered in the Middle East conflict.
Yes, indeed. This is according to Foreign Affairs Minister Mulambo Haimbe, who said that this assurance is based on verified updates that his ministry has received from missions in Egypt, Israel, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. And he did say that though some Zambians, yes, have experienced travel restrictions due to airspace closures, but there is no Zambian that has been a casualty because of this conflict in the Gulf. Then he also said that the missions abroad are on high alert by providing timely advice to those who are have difficulties to travel back to Zambia as the conflict persists. And this has also been the government has also said that once everything becomes secured, there is a strong possibility that Zambians that want to return home can return until the situation normalizes in the Middle East. So this is the current update, but authorities are on that no Zambian is affected by the conflict.
All right, Mike, in what would be some good news, particularly heading to the August 13 election, but of course some good news for Zambia as a whole, is that the country has recorded stronger revenue and export growth for 2025.
Yeah, quite some positive economic reports there. This is also according to the latest debt statistical bulletin released that by the Ministry of Finance. So the report shows that revenue and grants reached 53.23 billion in the fourth quarter of 2025, exceeding the target of 45.93 billion. So the performance has been driven by high income tax collection from both mining and non-mining sectors. So also Zambia's gross international reserves increased by 371 million United States dollars to 5.58 billion United States dollars, representing 4.8 months of import cover. So yes, as we head to the elections and with the conflict in the Middle East not looking to slow down, with the reserves, authorities are assuring the Zambian citizenry that the economy remains resilient despite the conflict in the Middle East. And with these numbers that I've shown, authorities are not panicking. They're hoping that the gains that have been achieved in the last 5 years by the UPND administration may not be lost because of the conflict that has lasted now more than 1 week.
All right, Mike, and it's time to manage perception as President Hakainde Hichilema has launched the Brand Zambia project. Kuchalo?
Yeah, you know, the current administration has focused on economic transformation, and they have also focused on improving the image of the country outside, so that foreign direct investment can be coming. So the Brand Zambia project targets to clearly define national identity and shape how Zambia wants the world to see us. So President Hakainde Hichilema said during the launch, and I quote, "The initiative is a strategic tool to attract investment, boost tourism, and strengthen national pride by presenting a compelling, coherent image of our country to the global community," end of quote. So you can clearly see that the president is focusing on boot tourism, and that this can only be achieved if the world begins to look at Zambia from a different positive perception. And the Brand Zambia project is what President Hakainde Hichilema is urging the local businesses, the investors that are coming into Zambia, to ensure that whatever they are doing is conforming to the objectives of the Brand Zambia project, because he says once there is stability in the country is assured of increased foreign direct investment. So this is a project that President Hakainde Hichilema is passionate about, and in the days to come, we're here to see what some of the other things are going to come about in order to actualize some of the objectives of this Brand Zambia project.
All right, exciting times ahead. Thank you very much, Mike, for delivering the Zambia report.
Thank you very much, and I wish our women a happy International Women's Day, and have a blessed weekend. Africa, have a blessed week ahead of us. Africa, good morning to all of them.
Happy International Women's Day indeed, as well as happy Commonwealth Day, keeping in mind that the Dean of the Commonwealth, particularly in Namibia, is currently Zambia. Let's take a quick break before we return with economic news.
Business First Africa is a forward-looking business show that goes beyond balance sheets to capture how Africans are building, creating, and living. Afrotech explores innovation, AI, and digital systems shaping the continent's economies. Brave and Building profiles Namibian entrepreneurs and businesses transforming industries and urban spaces. Creative Capital spotlights creatives and the creative economy, unpacking how culture becomes value. Africa in 10 delivers a sharp roundup of key developments across the continent. Don't miss Business First Africa, because it's not just business, it's life. This month on DSTV, a devastating family tragedy sees the Clyburns relocate to the country.
My center, my soul, is gone.
It's lights out and away we go as Formula One enters a new era of engineering.
Max Verstappen stays ahead.
And 13-year-old Gigi heads off to boarding school where she must learn to live with humans.
I'm a goat.
It's entertainment for everyone, everywhere you like, with DSTV.
In economic news, Senegal has acquired a 10% stake in Dangote Cement's local subsidiary, the country's leading cement producer. The move reduces Dangote's ownership from 99.99% to 89.99%, leaving the government as a minority shareholder in a strategic industrial company. The deal appears in the group's 2025 annual report. It comes during a difficult financial period for the Dakar-based plant. Revenues declined from 192.2 billion naira in 2024 to 151 billion naira in 2025, representing a 21.4% contraction. The decline followed a 19.8% drop in sales volumes, which reached 1.2 million tons for the year. Now, Dangote Cement Senegal has operated since 2015. Zimbabwe's government has faced criticism after allocating $25 million to the Munhumutapa Zifa Cup football tournament. President Emerson Mnangagwa launched the competition at an event in Harare. The tournament will run for 5 years, with the funding distributed across that period. Renowned lawyer Tabari Mpofu argued the decision reflects misplaced priorities while sectors such as health struggle. He wrote that footballers should be paid, but questioned directing such resources towards sport when hospitals need support. Mpofu also asked why decisions promoting the common good were not being taken. The Munhumutapa tournament will include men's, women's, developmental and futsal teams. Winners of the men's competition will receive $1 million and a place in the CAF Confederations Cup. Winners in the women's tournament will receive $200,000. Those have been our stories on DSTV 285, GoTV 25, 1up2.com, Network Media Hub, and ntvafrica.my.na, as well as NTV Africa on YouTube. That's Africa with a K. We return tomorrow as Talent Gore joins us to deliver the news from Zimbabwe, whilst we also give you the top stories from broader Africa. We leave you now with the indicators, as we say, Swera Shakanaka.